Okay, places to look for employment. Online, you've got your job boards, Monster, Indeed, Career Builder, things like that. Not every job listed on there is legitimate. Yeah. Because anybody can put anything on the internet. Just because it's on the internet doesn't make it true or legitimate, right? That's why Wikipedia is not a good source for academic papers. Because anybody, any Yahoo can go edit it. I could go edit a Wikipedia page right now. Yeah. I mean, I could go edit a Wikipedia page on the mating habits of jellyfish. I don't know anything about that, but I could certainly say I did. Okay. But job boards like Monster, Indeed, and Career Builder, the more reputable, well-known ones, tend to have more legitimate postings. You have your classified ads in print or online, and this is like a newspaper classified ad, so Orlando Sentinel, Stanford Herald, Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, things like that. And most of them have their classifieds listed online as well as in print. Then you have employment agencies. Now these are agencies that will help you find a job. Some of them cost money. There are employment agencies that are run by states and counties. Those typically don't cost you any money. There's the Career Center over there on the other side of the campus, which is kind of like an employment agency. It's not really, but they kind of work like an employment agency. They kind of help you find jobs. That doesn't cost any money. But then there's some employment agencies that charge a fee to place you in a job. Usually people that go through those kind of employment agencies are going for more higher end jobs, really high up on the corporate ladder, you know, CEOs, CFOs, things like that. There are temporary services. Temp agencies hire people to work for other companies temporarily, like 2 weeks while Joe goes on vacation, that you go in and cover for Joe, or till they can find somebody else to work the position. Or sometimes they're labor temp agencies, like you get hired to do some sort of a construction-y type something, or a tear down, but it's just a single job, so they don't need a permanent person. A lot of the temp agencies, though, have temp to hire jobs. So you start out as a temp, but it's a temp to hire, so they're trying you out. And if they like you, they keep you. If not, they try the next person. So that can be a good way to find a good, steady, stable job, is to go through a temp agency. Not only, though, are they trying you out, you're trying them out on a temp to hire. So it's not a black mark if you go get a temp to hire position at, say, I don't know, like AT&T or something, and you decide you don't really like it. You just tell the temp agency you want to be placed elsewhere, and it's not like I quit a job. You're still with the same employer, which is the temp agency. So it's a good way to kind of test out the job market yourself as well, and see, like, do I like this company? Do I want to work for, you test the waters. And you don't look like a job jumper. Somebody that goes from one job to the next, to the next, to the next. Employers don't like that. But if you do that through a temp agency, you're with the same agency the whole time, so it's more stable, and then that doesn't look bad on you when you're going to interview for other jobs. Yeah, you just list the temp agency, and then you can say, yeah, and what you can do on your resume, you can list, like I used to work for a temp agency called Norel, and I would list Norel Temporary Services, and then I would list some of my more like impressive appointments. Merrill Lynch, Sprint, like the bigger companies. I'd list those underneath. So I'd say assigned to Merrill Lynch, Sprint, and list those. So that helps too. And then there are other online sites, like, for example, Craigslist. Craigslist has job postings, but you really need to be careful. Some of the jobs on there are absolutely legitimate. Some of the jobs on there are creepy people trying to get you to come do some weird stuff. Okay? I mean, seriously. You need to be really careful. Never give out too much information. Never agree to meet them in a dark alley. you know, like, or anywhere seedy, you know, that's just maybe a really bright alley, but no. So, you know, just be careful. If it sounds too good to be true, make $10,000 a week stuffing envelopes in the comfort of your own home. No, you're not. No. Make $5 a week stuffing envelopes in the comfort of your home probably, but not. Like, if it sounds too good to be true for a job, it is something. Yeah, if it sounds too good to be true, it is too good to be true. Okay. Classified ads get charged per line. So, like, if I want to go put an ad in the Orlando Sentinel, if I do a 1-line ad, it's going to be cheaper than a 10-line ad. So I want to abbreviate as much as possible. And so these are some really common abbreviations. And then I'm just going to fill them in and then we'll go over them. Vocabulary. An employment agency is a company that specializes in connecting employers and employees. Basically, they'll get you a job. Okay, some specialize in fields. So there's an employment agency called, it's actually, I think it might be a temp agency, but that's still, a temp agency is still an employment agency. There's one called Labor Ready that specializes in labor. Like, so they're hiring construction workers, garbage men, you know, people, laborers. There are medical temp agencies and medical employment agencies that only do people for the medical profession. That, yeah. Doctor's offices to doctors, yeah. So there's medical field ones, there's education ones. There are not as many of those, but yeah, desk job, office people, computer stuff, all kinds of things like that. So some specialized, some charge a fee. Now, they all charge a fee. It's just that some of them charge the fee to you, and some of them charge the fee to the employer. So I'm just going to say some charge a fee because only some of them would you have to pay a fee to. Temp agencies typically charge the fee to the employer because even if you're on a temp to hire, you work for the temp agency and then they place you. So temp agencies usually don't charge, but some of the employment agencies do charge you. Fee paid is when the employer pays the fee. This would be listed in the job ad. If it just says fee, that means you have to pay the fee. Okay, your resume is a short account. 1 to 2 pages, preferably 1. Of education and qualification. Bless you. Previous employment. And I'm going to put references in parentheses because some people put references on their resume and some people put references provided upon request at the bottom of their resume. They're both acceptable. So it's up to you whether you put them on your resume or you provide them upon request. Pages. There's something else that you guys wouldn't probably do unless you go into certain fields, and that's called a curriculum vitae. This is like your resume book. It's long. You list all accomplishments, Bless you. All education, trainings that you've gone to, publishments. So like if you're in education, or if you're if you're a professor, or if you're a psychiatrist or something, you would have a curriculum vitae. So you would list. It's a bigger account. Like, so when you don't just list your job. Vitae, V-I-T-A-E. You don't just list your jobs. Like, you don't just say I worked for this company from this day to this day, and this company from this day to this day. You say I worked for this company from this day to this day, and I did all of this when I worked for the company. Yes, it's basically it's a story of your job. And there are certain career fields that would require a curriculum vitae. Most of them do not. But a curriculum vitae is a more expansive. You list. You don't just say, I went to blah blah college and got my master's in whatever. You say I went to blah blah college. I got my master's in blah blah blah. I attended this symposium, this lecture. I did this talk. I did this project. I did this. I got this published. I'm doing that. When I was a part of this club and that 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 club. You list everything. It's yes. Kind of like that. It's more expansive, but again, not as frequently required. You will have to fill out a Form W-4, which is the employer's withholding allowance certificate, and this is for income tax. This determines how much they will take out. When you fill this out, you are claiming exemptions. Now there's a worksheet on the back that you can fill out. I'm going to pause. Benefits can be a bunch of different things. So benefits are basically considered to be additional compensation. Not money. Well, actually, that's not true. Sometimes they are money because there's bonus structures. So I'll just take that out. So yeah, there can be money. There can be bonus structures. But mostly you're talking about insurance. And that can be health, dental, or vision, or all three. You can also have disability insurance that they might offer. Some places provide child care. Some places provide retirement plans. Some places do not. Some places do vacation packages or plans, things like that. I guess you could do like bonus structures. Yeah, PTO is a benefit, definitely. PTO is paid time off. Some do travel expenses, meaning if you had to travel for work or if you had to move in order to get the job, they'll pay for your move, things like that. Okay, these are considered additional compensation. They're just not usually money. Julianne found a job listed in the classified ads that pays a yearly salary of $41K. Yearly salary, sorry. What is her weekly salary? Well, first we have her yearly is $41K, which is $41,000. And there are 52 weeks in a year. And I'm going to use the magic of this little box. $788.46 per week. And you could figure out monthly if you wanted to by dividing by 12. Karen found a job with an annual salary of $67.3K. Here we go. What is her monthly pay? Well, whenever there's a point here with a K, that point occurs where the comma is. So this will be 67,300. Okay, and we're going to divide it by 12. And so her monthly salary will be $5,608.33. Agency. Dylan took a job through an employment agency, and the job pays $3.95 per week. Dylan must pay a fee, and the fee is 20% of his first 4 weeks' pay. Okay, so we have $3.95 per week, and we're talking about 4 weeks' pay. So I'm going to take that $3.95 and multiply it by 4. Okay, so that's 4 weeks' pay is $1,580. And we're going to have to pay a fee of 20% of that. So we'll turn our 20% into a decimal, so 0.2. And then I'll take that $1,580 and multiply it by 0.2. So Dylan's going to have to pay $316 to the employment agency. This is what's known as a piecewise function. Okay, it's called piecewise because you have two pieces. You have piece 1 and piece 2, or you could have more than 2 pieces. You could have 3 or 4 or 5. I mean, you can have a bunch of things. And what a piecewise function does is it tells you that it's 56 as long as this condition is applying. So this is a condition out here. And the condition here is x is less than or equal to 4. And then this condition is x is greater than 4. So what this is saying is if x is less than or equal to 4, the cost is $56. That came from this first line. Okay. Then the second line continues it and it says if x is more than 4, the cost is 56 plus 6 times x minus 4. Interpreting this, x is the number of lines in the add. So it's $56 for the first 4 lines. And then $6 for each additional line. That's what that piecewise function is telling us. Now, I'm not going to make you guys write piecewise functions. Like, I'm not going to make you create a piecewise function, but I need you to be able to break one down so that you can find the information you need. So the cost of a 12-line add. 12 lines is more than 4. So we're going to use this formula here. So that's what you do. You look and see which condition you're meeting, and then pick the thing that goes with that condition. So here we're meeting the condition of having 12 lines. 12 lines is more than 4, so we're going to use 56 plus 6 times 12 minus 4. Does that make sense? Okay, hold on. So see, we've got, this is the number of lines. We've got a 12-line add, right? 12 is greater than 4. So that means we use this part. If we were less than 4, we'd use this part. Yeah. So that's what you do. You find out what you got, and then you look to see which of these you fit into, and then whichever one you fit into is the part you use. Okay? So we're going to use the bottom part, and we're talking 12 lines, so that's what goes in for x. So I'm going to do 56 plus 6 times 12 minus 4. So that's 56 plus 6 times 8, which is 56 plus 48, which is 104. So that add is going to cost $104. Does that make sense? Here's an online job searching site that charges employers fees to post job listings. And we have the price per post. Now, if you do one posting, they're $395 each. So it's $385. If you do two posting, it's $385 each. So it would be 2 times $385. If you do 3 posting, they're $375 each. Okay, does that make sense? So this is, all right. So we want to know, what is the percent savings if they decide to post 4 jobs instead of 1? Okay, so 4 jobs versus 1 job. Okay, now we've got that percent change formula. Do you guys remember this one? Have we done this one? Did we do this? Okay. Couldn't remember if we've gotten. I didn't think we did. Okay, new minus old divided by old. That's right. We skipped the stock chapter. Okay, so percent change is new minus old divided by old. That gives you your percent increase or your percent decrease. So that also tells you your percent savings. New is 350. Old is 395. So we have negative 45 divided by 395. And if you divide that out, you get 0.11392, some other stuff. I move 2 places over. That's an 11.4% savings. So that's negative. Okay, so we've saved 11.4% if we go with 4 job postings instead of just 1. If we go with 25 job postings, we're in this area. And so that's going to be 265 minus 395 divided by 395. Yeah. So that's negative 130 divided by 395, which gives me, again, negative 0.3291, some other stuff. Move the decimal 2 places, and that's going to be a 32.9% savings. We have 200 copies for $29.95. Oh, this is supposed to be 177, not 77. I forgot to fix that. Okay, we have 200 copies for $29.95, and each additional copy set is $14 for 100. Or you can get 39 cents per copy. Or maybe that is supposed to be. Hold on a second. Oh, yeah, it is supposed to be 77. I'm sorry. Don't fix that. I'm sorry. Okay, so we can do 200 for $29.95. So 200 is equal to $29.95. Or we can do 39 cents each. That should be 200. Okay. He wants 77 at 39 cents each. That is $30.03. Yeah. So should he get the 200 copies for $29.95, or should he get his 77 copies for $30.03? Yeah, he should buy the 200 copies. First of all, he's going to save 8 cents. And maybe 8 cents doesn't seem like a big deal, but let's say he puts out those 77 resumes and he doesn't get the job. Then he's going to need more resumes, right? It's an investment. He'll have 200 of them. So what if he doesn't use them all right away? He'll have them for, if he needs to apply for different jobs after those first initial 77. So it's a better deal. So even though he might go, well, it's only 8 cents, I'm just going to get what I need. It's a better investment to buy the bulk save the 8 cents, keep them on file, and if he never uses them, he can use them for scratch paper. Right? No, you can't.
Yes, you can.